Okay, thank you, Ray. Good evening, everybody. Just ready for this second session of this first round match.
Thank you. Frame 10. Stephen Lee to break.
And it's Stephen Lee who's going to break off. 3-frame deficit, so needs a good start this evening.
Ryan Day looked dangerous this morning in this first session. Played some pretty good stuff. I don't think he's had the best of seasons, really. But comes here with a chance to put that right. And he's a very good player.
Yeah, you can't say he's an underachiever, but with a player of his ability not to have won a ranking event yet is a bit of a mystery. Type of pot that you expect Ryan Day to knock in, and a little unlucky just to finish there. Don't think he can pot the blue. He could play either the pot on the green or the yellow, but either way he'll be using the rest. Makes this pot and positional play just a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, good shot with the rest though, because he was queuing awkwardly next to the blue.
4. Five.
I think he's a beautiful timer of the ball. He gets a lot of work on it with little effort. And the cue action is working for him. Extremely dangerous.
$12. 13.
Red near the middle, but okay. And I think he can get through to it.
20.
So this is a good chance in this opening frame this evening. His hand on the table and a chance to score quite a few points here.
Yeah, once again he really got into that. The cue ball zipped off the pack there.
21. $26. 27.
Just the start he wanted. Well, he played it to leave himself quite straight on this red. Not many players would have been able to reach this next shot, to be honest. He's
33.
a tall lad and he can just get across and run this through on the black.
34.
Not sure what kind of angle he has here. There is a red that pots into the same pocket as the black. It's the left one of the bunch, but if he wanted to, he could play on the red along the cushion as well. That's just on the edge of shot there, but he's not got a perfect angle on the black for either shot, really. Well, he's found one that pots as well into the other corner. That was a good controlled shot. He had to play through a gap for this red.
41. Yep. 42.
Screwed back. A little bit further would have been better.
49.
You may have to go up for the blue now. And he might just be nudging off another red, so we've got to be careful. And it's gone wrong. So he's going to have to play the green here, and he's quite a bit of work to do with the cue ball. Got a 50-point lead, but it's not clear-cut. Well, just looking at that, I think he can just about get to the edge of the blue. He could cut the blue into the middle pocket, but whatever, the cue ball's going to have to travel quite a bit, so he can just get to the blue. Well, he could, the pin could go. So, not too well. He'll settle for that. As I say, that cue ball, no matter what colour he played, had to travel, and it couldn't have travelled in a nicer line than this. Should win the
57.
frame now.
Well, he's looked good here. I mean, I know he was a bit fortunate there with the shot that John was speaking about on the pink. He nudged the red on, but he's kind of deserving it because he's cueing very nicely. Just a red and a colour left to mean that Stephen Lee wants a snooker, but, well, I mean, he could be looking at a century here more than anything else. Just got to be careful with his colour because, once again, the angle on this red is a bit straight. Certainly, he's thinking about playing up for the pink through a small gap. He's certainly shaped to. Quite a small gap between the pink and that red.
65.
It's a good shot again. He's getting the cue ball moving, as I say, with no great effort.
So there you see it, 71 in front, just 67 remaining, but highly unlikely that Stephen Lee
71.
will be getting back to the table, you would have thought.
72.
And as you say, Neil, I think it's a century that's in Ryan's mind at the moment. Having said that, he's just let that cue ball run a little bit too far. May have to play the
79.
double on this red now to the left middle. Well, he managed to cut it in. And if he avoids the kiss on the black, this will be a good shot to get on the next red. It's a great effort, once again, as you mentioned, Neil. Good cueing, getting right
86.
through that cue ball. He got the red, but it didn't matter. The frame was well over. So a good start for Ryan Day. The type of start really that Stephen Lee needed. But it's Ryan Day who takes the first frame and leads 7-3.
Ryan Day to break.
No balls potted yet. Here's a long red for Stephen Lee, which he strikes really well. And that was a good shot. It's his first real opportunity of the evening. It didn't have a squeak in the first frame. Hit it in nicely. Saw a little bit of this match this morning and thought both players hit the ball quite well. Stephen Lee looked a little bit quicker around the table and a bit as if he was trying to play purposely quicker than he sometimes has done. He's often got bogged down in the past. He's just the wrong side of the blue here, as you see there. But he's got the slight angle to take him round in and out of the bulk area if he wishes to. And he's got the power to do so. Well, that's a good shot, that really is.
6. Seven.
Two reds that in and around the black spot area. He'd like to get on one of those if he could, before he even thinks about playing on the black. He'd like to get the black on the spot. So this time just playing for the red that's just below the pink.
12.
Just having a look now at these two reds near the black spot area. And maybe having a look where the pink will go when it's respotted.
30.
Play for the pink. Not quite certain which red he'll play on next. There is one on the left-hand side of the table, but we'll see. Well, decided to power in the pink and try and open it, and that's worked out pretty nicely. And the pink goes on its spots nicely in the
90.
open.
Great cue power this. Now, when he pots the black, just looking at the black spot, looks a bit congested around there. So, no other spots are available. Just a question of where it goes or whether he can knock one or two of those reds away from the black spot. He's not interested in trying.
Yeah, sometimes if a red is occupying the spot, remember the black's going to go as close to its spot as it can in a direct line with the middle of the top cushion. So the black from a certain position will be possible. Not
27.
touching. It looks as though it is, but believe me, it isn't.
Yeah. 28.
Well, he doesn't seem to be quite happy with the contact he got there when he's potting the red in the middle, but he looks to have a decent angle on the blue. Just these reds just seem to be covering one another, so needs precise positional play here. And that's not it. He's played for this red to the left of the pink, but he wanted to be a little bit straighter on it.
33.
He's going to have to use the rest now. And it's a delicate shot anyway, the pot and the position. So he's probably made this a little bit more difficult than he needed to, as Stephen.
Stephen Lee. 33. Thanks.
They called it much too thin. And his saving grace is that he didn't get the position right either, so he's left Ryan Day nothing to pot here. Chance to slip in a good safety shot, maybe in behind the green. — . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Well, it may be a snooker. Let's just have a look at Stephen Lee's view. Yep, they can't quite get to the red on the left. The green's covering it. A little swerve, though, might get him there. That's what he's played. And there you are. That's a fluke. And he raises his hand. Played a little swerve around there and had no idea that was going in. It wasn't a very good shot, was it? Because all that right-hand side he had on, he couldn't really get the cue ball back down the table. So it's a good job the red went in.
He can't bid a bit of luck, and that was a good pot on the black. It's in nice position. Already with a 41-point lead. This is a frame-winning opportunity. You don't say that lightly, but you just look at it from the player's point of view. He'll be disappointed if he doesn't get enough points here to win the frame.
Nine. $50. $60. $21. $22.
Just another red, and well, just about any colour needed above the brown anyway. Will be enough.
29. $30.
Well, I don't think this red above the black goes, but he's got a nice angle on the blue here, just to cannon into these four reds to the left of the pink. Be unlucky not to be on one, and it couldn't have worked out better. So that's the frame in the bag. Surely
35.
it's already at the snooker's required stage, and he won't be missing this.
36.
Two very attractive frames of snooker so far. One visit for Ryan Day in the first frame. Just two visits to the table here, and
43. 44.
Stephen Lee has won the frame, albeit off of a fluke at the start of this break.
$50.
Well, he can make 100, 101 with three blacks. 100 exactly
51.
with the pink and two blacks on the remaining balls.
This is going to be a good shot to get position on the black.
57.
And he didn't
58.
feel as though he could. So I'll have to settle for a 99er.
$64. $65.
Well, he's not done a lot wrong this frame. It was a long red that started it. Or Stephen Lee, and then a fluke. And he's not too bothered, clearly, about making a century, because he didn't try
Stephen Lee.
to take blacks. Eventually, the break finishes at 65. It's a frame that Stephen Lee has pulled back. And the score is Ryan Day 7, Stephen Lee 4.
Quietly as possible, please. Another quick second. Get a 12th frame. Stephen Lee to break.
Yes, and not a bad break-off shot. Just sliding off. Oh, he's misjudged this. He's hit the pink, not the reds.
Foul and a miss. Stephen Lee 4.
Well, he didn't do anything. He didn't even reach the pink now. Has he left this red on to the corner? The answer's no. So, it was a pretty straightforward shot, this. He just misjudged it. Shouldn't be a problem.
Well, he's got a chance here. It's only a half chance. He'll take this on this red. And he can play it to just get around the back of the black and up the table onto a bolt colour, perhaps. It's always the problem with that shot. You never know quite where the red is going that you've played. As it happens, it's okay.
Well, he sent the red towards the corner. Now, that's okay if the green's covering the path to it, but I'm not certain it is. Now he can get through to it. The only downside for Stephen Lee is tight under the baulk cushion, so it's a difficult pot. But if it goes in, it'd be on the black. It's on the thin side, but doesn't appear to have left anything.
Well, it didn't look like it, John, did it? But I'll tell you, I think that red will pot on the edge of the pack. What he can do with it is another thing. Because there's a red just covering where he'd like to be on the pink into the right middle. But the red will pot. I think he played that very well. He knew he couldn't afford to finish too low because he wouldn't be able to pot the pink. So he pushed it through with topspin off the cushion nicely. He'd love to get on the red that is just above the black if he could. That would open up the black to both pockets.
So. Eight.
He played for the blue, but he's a little bit farther than he would have liked. Depends how you see this shot. There's two loose reds, but he could play the cannon into the pink and open up the reds. That's the modern players' way of sorting out those problems, and I'll tell you what, they couldn't have worked out much
30.
better. Particularly if he's got a red that goes into the left corner, which I think he has. Well, can he get through to it? No, he can't just get through to the one to the left corner, so up for the blue off this. Once again, though,
40.
just overdid his position on the blue. And in a position here, he can't do a lot with the cue ball. What you hope for here in just rolling the blue in, that you make a full ball cannon on one of the reds. He doesn't want to risk playing that, but the yellow's a more difficult pot. And the yellow looks to be the only ball that we're getting back at this end of the table. He's taking the yellow on. And he potted it. Now, is that cue ball going to run past the blue? It is.
60.
The only problem he's got here, he's got the red comfortably onto the left corner pocket, but the black doesn't go into the right corner. I'm just wondering whether in potting this red to the left corner he might screw round the back of the black for the black in the same pocket. It's all about the pace of shot here. Doesn't like it, does he? He wants something straightforward. The reds couldn't be better situated. You feel just one good positional shot here and the frame's at his mercy. I prefer this choice of shot. Play for the black in the same pocket as this red. Played it well.
$24. $25. Yeah.
Well, the reds are spread all over the place, and it's all because of this shot. And as John said, it's the modern way. Get into the reds and smash them all over the table, basically. That was a great shot.
$32.
He's let a good chance go
Ryan Day.
begging there.
32.
My word, he has. Can't believe it. So that great opportunity to win the frame at this visit now falls to his opponent. This is a good chance for Stephen.
One. Eight. Nine.
A little bit
16.
unlucky there. He's on this red to the left middle, but he's looking for one to the right corner. And a little bit unfortunate to come hampered as he has done. And when you're so close to an object ball like this, you can't do a lot with the cue ball. He's looked at just running through a little bit for the pink.
70.
I think at least one of those two reds, just to the right of the pink, will go into the right middle pocket, so doesn't have to do a lot with the cue ball. Just leave it where the pink is now. As I say, it was a great chance for Ryan Day. He's missed out here. But Stephen Lee won't mind.
23.
Chance to reduce his arrears even further.
24.
That one struggled. He stayed down on it for a while. Now, he definitely didn't time that one. That will be very annoying to him. He seemed not to get to the bottom of the cue ball there. I think he
31.
just seemed to aim at the bottom and kind of hit just below centre. And obviously, if you do that, then you're not going to get the amount of screw on that you want. I suppose he's still a bit unlucky to finish behind the red. Probably the worst shot he's played tonight, that.
Yes, that red he's closest to, covering the possible reds. So he's walking around the table, just counting to 10 probably, just to calm himself down. Concentrate on getting that cue ball tight on the baulk cushion.
Stephen Lee. 31.
Ryan eyeing up this red down the right hand side of the table. I think he's playing it because there's no safety on. He's left a possible red to the left middle, but it's not easy and it's fraught with danger. Turn down the chance of the pot. Didn't get the cue ball tight again, and it does make such a difference. When the cue ball's tight against the cushion, the player can only hit the top quarter of the ball, whereas here he can just get down to the centre of it and stun round the angles when playing this pot. Well, he missed the pot by so far.
Yeah, I think it's one of them shots, John, where he just push a bit of side on. Played it with a bit of right-hand side, it's thrown it the other way. And as you say, it was a mile away from what he played.
One.
Well, he's played for the black. Obviously, if he pots it, it'll automatically be on the red along the top cushion.
Stephen Lee, 1.
Tricky, those. I always find them tricky, particularly when you're playing a little stun shot. If you roll in them in dead weight, seem to get in the pocket a bit easier.
1.
Don't know if he played on that red into the top right pocket, but
8.
he'll settle to where he is. Had a look at the scoreboard. He needs to. He'll certainly need all 4 reds, which means there is one red which will come into play that is not straightforward. The one that he's just queuing over now under his waistcoat there.
9.
Well, there's the
50.
red near the far left corner. That twice he could have played on it, but has decided to play for another red. But this time, the red to this right corner is a little bit more difficult. This is the easier pot. Just controlling the cue ball.
16.
And if he's very straight on this green, which he appears he may be, he's not going to be able to get... Well, he's just showing you where he's going to have to leave the cue ball to leave a long red. A missable red. .15 points of lead. Still looking
90.
for 2 reds and 2 reasonably sized colours to clinch the frame at this visit. So as you can see, that red on the left hand side of the table, it's not easy. Good shots needed.
Well, he's got some angle on this pink, so I mean, I don't think he'll play to cannon the red out. Depends how he views it, really. Could play him behind it, and that's what he's done. Not straightforward with the rest. Easily missed these kind of shots. 22 the
26.
difference, so a red and either pink or black will be enough. So he won't need the yellow. Oh, struggled in. Hit both jaws.
27.
Just making sure that he knows exactly where he stands here. Pink is all he needs. He'll play towards the yellow, but he must make sure the pink drops.
$33.
So there you see it. 29 ahead, 27 remaining. Snooker players the worst in the world at looking at scoreboards. He's got on the green.
35.
Couldn't have expected to get on it like that. Got to be careful of the push. But no problem there, and that just
That's
means
it.
that Stephen Lee won't be coming back to the table. And it was a type of frame where whoever lost it would be disappointed. Ryan Day had the first good chance. Stephen Lee then had a
42.
tremendous chance, which he didn't take. And Ryan's taken these tricky balls at the end very well.
47.
Well, he misses a pink, but it won't matter. Stephen Lee won't be coming back to the table.
Ryan Day.
And Ryan Day now 4 frames in front. Once again, he leads 8-4.
Shh, quietly, please. Frame 13. Ryan Day to break.
That's Ryan's break-off shot then, which is not a good one. He's hit the blue. And he's given Stephen Lee an immediate chance. Ray and John there talking about players going out for toilet breaks. JV, I tell you, no one has ever gone out as many times as Big Bill used to. Every frame he used to go out, didn't he?
Yeah, he did well with the amount of alcohol he was consuming. That had to happen. But if you're going to get sweaty palms, you're going to get it here at the Crucible. And I think that sometimes players just like to go out and just wash their hands. As we said before, this is the big one. And every shot a pressure one.
Well played. 9-2 cushions with a little extension on the cue. Like those two reds out of the way. Those ones just above the black. Play a little nudge on one here. That's a lovely shot.
Eight. 9.
Maybe a little bit lower than he would like, but a chance here to carry into the back of that cluster. Should still be on the red to the same pocket as the black. Played it nicely. Didn't have to hit it hard, because if he'd have hit it hard he may not have
60.
been on anything, but just loosen the red slightly.
70.
He would have been a little bit peeved that he didn't win the last frame, because he looks in good touch, Neil, doesn't he?
He's playing quicker, I think, than I remember him. I think he should play quickly because he's a very fluent player, but I've seen him get bogged down before. But
24.
he's made a conscious effort to just speed his game up. No, he had a very good win to qualify
25.
against Judd Trump. He's the up-and-coming player, one to really keep an eye on his. And that was a good win. You would think that that would be sort of match Stephen Lee should win anyway, but
32.
the young players of today, you have to really keep a close look at those.
Nicely played. A little bit tougher the black than he would have liked because of his proximity to the side cushion, but he only has to roll it in, bounce off the left-hand side cushion for a red into the right corner. Well, it looked as though that was all he had to do, but well, maybe he can just get through to this red. It's red he played on, but he wanted it straight for the corner. He may be able to cut it in. Play for a baulk colour now, though.
Well, that was some shot. Cue ball, when he first hit it, was a bit of a blur there, all around the table. Look at this. I mean, he's belted this.
Well, I think that's what tells us, Neil, that he was looking for another black off the red. Maximum in mind. Well, why else would he play the red like that? And I suppose, having played it, a little unlucky to come tight under the cushion. And even if he pots the black, I don't know where the next red comes from.
Well, to tell you what, to pop that black at that speed and tied on the side cushion is just an example of what kind of acumen he is.
48.
So difficult to get the accuracy. I'm not sure he's on a red still, but I tell you, it was still nicely done. Now, what on earth is he looking at here? Well, I think you're right, John. If he's even considering that shot, then he's trying to make a maximum, isn't he? Anyone think there was a big prize for a maximum, John?
I think there is, isn't there? £147,000. It's tempting. Well, I'm not quite certain what he's playing here. Maybe the double into the other corner pocket, is he? That's what he's tried.
Stephen Lee.
I'll
48.
tell you what. He's in an attacking mood.
Well, that tells me that he fancies trying to make a 147 more than he fancies winning the match, because that was the wrong shot, whether he gets away with it or not.
Foul. The miss. Stephen
Had
Lee.
a thin glance there. And as you saw, missed it altogether. Won't be put back.
Well, not the best of shots there from Stephen, and these are the type of shots that Ryan Day just seems to float in at will. Just looking to see what sort of an angle. You'd think you'd be looking for an angle on the brown of the green here. Good straight cueing needed. And got. And possibly now off the brown. Come off the brown. Side cushion, a little bit of side. Playing the cannon.
Five.
Anyway, he got the cannon, but he's not on one. So just a safety.
Ryan Day, 5.
Just looking at that shirt, not certain, but I think it might be Plymouth Argyle. At least the man next to him looks as though he might have a Manchester United cap on anyway, so bringing some sanity to it. Well, Stephen having a look here, of course, he's got a 47-point lead, but he knows the danger. If he was to leave Ryan Day a chance of a pot here, that lead wouldn't count for much. Just feel he's going to come off the two cushions and nestle up to the red nearest the top cushion. Doesn't want to hit it on the way down. Well, that's what he's done, and hitting it on the way down, that red he's closest to may be potable into the far left corner. In fact, I'm sure it is.
Well, he's trailing by 46 points, but this is still a pretty good chance to get back into the frame or even win it.
Eight. Nine. Sixty. Seventy.
Well, you'd like to take these 5 remaining reds with blacks, I think, to get them back into the game. Played a little cannon on that red, which is not hit exactly how he meant to.
24.
Still could pop that red to the left centre.
Yeah, just hampered.
Right day. 20
And
foot.
that caused the miss. So here's a chance now for Stephen Lee to just finish this frame off. He's got a 23-point lead. Might not be a natural to pop this red to the right middle and come back for the black. Don't see what other colour he could play for. I think the reason he's pointing there, he's thinking if he pots the red to the right middle and screws back, can he get a cannon off the second red, which will take him towards the black? Possibility. It's worth the risk, and if it goes right, it'd be a frame winner. Well, he found another red. A lot more difficult than the one we were looking at. But nevertheless, it went in, and he's on the black. And that frame winning chance is still there.
Yeah.
Well, the reason he didn't get a good positional shot there, he's not happy with the contact, but he didn't pop the black in the middle of the pocket. I think if he had done, the cue ball would have gone a little bit further up the table and given him a choice of reds, but that frame winning chance is looking slimmer. He's thought about this red, but it's very tight, so just decided now to play safe. He had a few chances in the last frame, didn't
Stephen Lee,
take them.
8.
And it really begins to eat away at your confidence when you're getting good chances. And that was a terrific one. So he'll have to wait for another one.
I just wonder if he'll just try and roll this red in. No easy safety shot. That's a beauty. Well, he was forced into that, really. I don't think he had any other shot.
Yeah, and they're a little bit easier when you're 8-4 in front, aren't they? But that miss, or that missed opportunity from Stephen Lee could be very costly. If Ryan Day was to win this frame, he'd just go one frame away from a place in the second round. First to 10, remember, in these first round best of 19 matches.
Just a tricky little cutback, this. And cue ball heading towards the bulk colour.
Five.
I didn't really want to put the green away from its spot. It's not impossible to pot, but the fact is he's on a long pink now. Thought he might quite like to leave the pink down that end with the blue there along the cushion, but if he clears up, it's a long way from blue to pink if he knocks the pink in and puts it back on its spot.
Well, if he runs far enough, that was an excellent pot on the pink. And I'm looking at his body language, he's not looking too upset, so I can only assume he can get through to this red, the one to the left of the yellow, as we look now. Well, whether he could or not,
Ryan Day,
he didn't get to the potting angle. Well, there's a few ways of looking at this. 20 points in front. If you're knocking the long red, you win the frame. Well, he's playing the cut. You've got to get a bit of right-hand side on this, I think, to avoid a kiss on the brown when he comes off the baulk cushion. Don't want to hit this too thin. Purposely got it too thick. As I say, the danger was if you overcut it, you'd cannon the brown and the cue ball would have stayed at that end.
Well, it's a stunning long red and one that is not unexpected when you know the way that Ryan Day plays. These long straight ones John mentioned earlier, like a penalty kick almost. Although, don't know we should mention penalty kicks to John.
I'm very pleased that Everton have got through to the final of the Cup. I think they've done very, very well with the injuries that they've had to get to the final, and I wish them the best of luck in the final.
And if you believe that, you believe anything.
Good pot on the yellow. It's
Three.
not going to be the easiest of clearances here because the blue's tight on the baulk cushion. The green's not on its spot, although cleverly playing for the green now. Make it a little bit easier if the green's back on its spot. But you just feel that blue's going to be the big problem because, of course, no matter how he gets on the blue, he's going to have to play it with a little bit of pace to get from blue to pink.
7.
6 remaining colours required.
Nine.
No good. Very short of where he meant to be, and, well, virtually impossible to hold this. I mean, he could get somewhere halfway up the table for the blue, but that's about all. That's as good as it gets, I think, for position, but I doubt if he'll go for this. Well, he's having a look, so this is a risky one. I mean, he could get very close to this and leave it over the pocket. A lot of players would be just hitting this full in the face. Ryan likes it. I'm afraid that was always going to be the worry.
Where's his cue ball
Right,
going?
then.
Well, I
60.
thought for one moment it might have run behind the pink, as you say. I couldn't agree with you more, Neil. That was risky. But it's not over just yet, because Stephen needs the blue and the pink. And you're not guaranteed to get position off this blue. The best way to play it, and I'm certain the way Stephen will play it, is to play cushion first. And that then will swing the cue ball around the angles, but he's still got to judge the pace correctly to get position on the pink. Just checking where he needs to hit the cushion.
Well, this is where his cue power comes into the equation. He's playing a direct screw, and my word, can he get hold of the ball? That is, you know, I've got to say, that is very, very unfortunate to go in off.
Ryan Day, 5.
Sheer power has got the cue ball there.
Everything happens, and it always seems to go the wrong way when you need it. And Stephen Lee at the moment, 8-4 behind, needed a bit of luck. He didn't have any. So Ryan Day with a chance to go 9-4 in front. Blue and pink needed. Missed it by a country mile. And what's he... And he's left it on, so Stephen Lee has another chance to win this frame, and should do this time.
Well, this is a comedy of errors now. The Ryan Day, obviously, the shot he had on the blue was always one that you can miss from its spot. That should have been potted. And now Ryan has got another chance. Both players need 2 balls out of the 3. Obviously blue and pink. Ryan will take a bigger lead. Well, I'm not
Five.
sure whether that was planned. That cannon on the black, but either way, this is for the frame. All the way. Ryan Day wins a scrappy frame and he extends his lead. It is Ryan Day 9, Stephen Lee 4.
Quietly as possible, please.
.15 on this table before play resumes.
Quietly as possible, please.